extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But we are concerned about irresponsible, one-sided news stories
plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has
been extremely dangerous to our democracy.
What's going on? What's going on? Hi, you know what time it is. You know what rhyme it is. Remember me? I'm your gracious host, A6. We are live and direct, live in effect. It is a Sunday, man. The weather was nice. The sun was shining. The birds was chirping. It was nice. It was very nice, man. It's my first time back in damn, it's been like 4 weeks, right? It's been a little while, man. I had to get my head together, man. A death in the family, for those of you who aren't aware. Somebody who I was pretty close to, so, it hit different. You know what I mean? It really hits different because it was because of that right there. You know what I mean? And I specifically remember having conversations with people in the family about this same exact thing. You know what I mean? And 2020 was a crazy year. I'll put it that way. But you can only present information and just hope that it takes. That's all you can really do. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I've been cooling, bro. I've been really just not even doing videos like that. I've done like maybe a couple shorts, just taking it easy. I've been talking to Wolf and Floyd behind the scenes. So apparently, for those of you who aren't aware or haven't been following or haven't joined my Telegram group, there's actually there is indeed a passport that you can get from the Department of State that does have the U.S. national endorsement, the one that everybody's been trying to get for all these years, and that everyone said you won't be able to tell the difference between the national passport and a U.S. citizen passport. The passports actually are different now, and I'm not sure when this changed. And I actually, there were some people who were saying that the pictures that were presented in Bad Wolf's group were actually doctored, but me and Floyd spoke to the guy, and it was 100% legit. The dude went and got his passport, and they were endorsed with U.S. national. The card right there where it says nationality, underneath it, it doesn't say USA, it says U.S. national. And national is in upper and lowercase letters, which is extremely interesting because if you look at USA, those are all uppercase. Very interesting stuff. We've never seen this before. passport book. Flip over to the endorsement page. It's endorsed and basically says the bearer is a U.S. national and not a U.S. citizen. And it was a back and forth a while ago. Me and Wolf were basically saying that a national was pretty much like a legal fiction that was created by the government, which it's still, I believe, truly it still is. But this is for the ends legis. This is not necessarily for your body. This is for the ends legis. So when you do this process with the passport, you're actually putting the ends legis where it needs to be at. Everything else you have to do yourself. You know what I'm saying? So there's a difference now. And listen, I told Floyd and Wolf, I said, yo, this must have happened about 2 years ago when they made the passport. If you look at the new passport book, the biometrics page is a card. It's actually a thick card. It's made of polymer or something like that, but it's a glossy, thick card, and it's purple and gray instead of being standard colors like the old passport books are that we had when we did the process. So somehow they must have changed the book and they changed the way they do the cards as well. Now, I'm not saying that if a U.S. citizen was to go get a passport book, it would look the biometric page would be different than if you were a national. Biometrics page for all of them is polymer now, but the endorsement is actually on that page that everybody was going at. And for those of you who are aware and watch Bad Wolf's video, people who are doing the DS11 form are using '09 all. But Wolf said you can just use '09 without using all, which makes sense because all is like all the definitions included, which is on the Foreign Affairs Manual. So I've actually read it myself. The Foreign Affairs Manual was actually changed too because I read the Foreign Affairs Manual 2 years ago, and it didn't say anything about the card. It just said the book would be endorsed, but nobody could get their book endorsed properly. You know what I'm saying? And there's been some speculation that U.S. national is basically their way of saying state citizen, but they can't necessarily say state citizen because of that simple fact. So this is interesting stuff. You know, you got hundreds and thousands of people. I estimate between all of the people that I've seen online talking about these topics and as many views as Wolf's videos. Mine doesn't get nowhere near as many videos as views as his does. Floyd as well, he gets a lot of views on his channel. You know, people doing the USFL, the one that USFL read online, the Copper Moonshine Stills. Yo, this had to be hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people like trying to change their status via passport. And you got some people that were getting kickbacks like, yo, our records indicate that you're a U.S. citizen. And you got people doing explanatory statements like, well, look, you know, and just get into it. I was not born in Washington, D.C., such and such, as it says, you know what I'm saying, the 14th Amendment, and the U.S. being within a 10-mile square of Washington, D.C., basically. So this is what this is what we've gotten to by basically doing these processes and trying to get the government to correct the passports. A lot of people were saying, yo, they're not correcting our statuses no more. That's not necessarily the case. And we talked multiple times. I'm not even going to get into that. Look at the old videos if you don't know why the passport is not really a viable form of to provide like law enforcement or anything like that. If you exercising your right to travel and you don't want to get entangled in court and all that stuff, it's not really valid anymore because of the way their system's set up. But that's a whole nother conversation. The bottom line is getting, because there's a lot of things you can do when your passport says national, because you're literally separating yourself from being a U.S. citizen. This opens a whole lot of doors. You know, if you can get creative with it, it can open a whole lot of doors. You know what I'm saying? So this is an interesting thing we need to be able to talk about here. And I'm also wondering if this whole migrant crisis thing plays into that particular topic too, because they were saying, yo, migrants can do this, migrants, non-citizens can do this, non-citizens can do that. But this might have played right into the passport thing. Like, yo, all right, now we're issuing U.S. national passports, so people who are nationals can do this, that, and the third. You know, you can be a police officer if you're a national. Those kind of things. You know, you know, we can say, hey, look, there's a difference between foreign and domestic. You know, that's fair. That's fair. That's a perfectly fair assumption. But we're talking strictly the passport right now. The endorsements are definitely there. And like I said, if there's endless amounts of possibilities how you can move with that if you actually physically have that on you know, which is great stuff. Or you can always do the thing where you can make your own, you can get your own passport, make your own, all of that stuff is fine as well. But, being as how we talk about these things, it's very important that we discuss that. Jared, what up, man? Good to have a wrench in the house. What's up? What's up? Frog Dog, what's good? What's good? Alfonso, what up? No, I haven't been watching the YSL trial. I know it's all hogwash. It's fake as a $3 bill. I'm gonna go as far as to say anytime a camera is allowed to record a trial, it's freaking fake. The Kyle Rittenhouse trial was fake as hell. The OJ Simpson trial was goddamn fake. All of that stuff was 100% fake. It was a psyop for reasons by the individuals who put those things into play. Psychological operations always take place for either research purposes or to guide the public in a certain direction. So that's what I believe. They got you try to bring a big ass camera in court and see what happens. try to bring one of them production value cameras in court next time you go to court for traffic and see what the hell a bailiff do. See what the judge, the damn administrator behind the bench does. My trial was a success. What trial is this, Frog Dog? Did you do a consultation? By the way, another thing too, with you guys who I have been doing consultations behind the scene. All right, we've been having some pretty good success with beating cases. We've been eating cases. You know what I'm saying? People protecting their rights, not necessarily out there doing sideways shit. I'm not helping anybody who's done anything sideways, irresponsible. Don't even hit me up if you got a DUI, nothing like that. If you was driving while intoxicated, don't even reach out to me because I'm not trying to hear that shit. I don't believe in that personally. You know what I'm saying? So don't even reach out to me on that. If you've been, over there assaulting people or something like that, or if you've been abusing children, don't even reach out to me. Don't do it. But if it's something, you right to bear arms, they trying to hand you up on some bull crap, you can reach out to me. Traffic, easy work, reach out to me. I've been getting people been getting sued by debt collectors. I just been giving them the information. Again, I don't give legal advice at all. Only thing I do is present information. What they decide to do with that information is 100% on them. And if you follow the information I give you exactly how it should be followed, there's like a 95% chance you're going to have success unless it's just pure corruption, which is possible, But the people I've been helping with debt courts and things like that are being sued by a fake ass debt collector pretending to be the original. Cases get tossed out on that. So yeah, we've been over here taking W's, man. Not to brag, but we've been taking W's, just protecting ourselves, protecting our rights, waking up and stepping up as beneficiaries and moving like that. Eric, what's good? What's good? Athletes, what up? What up? What up? Good to have you here. Wesley, what it is? Am I not allowed to troll on here at all? Did you troll before, Wesley? Did you troll before, Wesley? I don't remember, man. If you going to troll, you better keep it light. Don't start getting sideways. You know what I'm saying? Look, I ain't too mad at that, but the wrenches might put the smack down on you if you get too crazy. Where do we look for this again? What are we talking about? Look for what? The passport? What do you mean? I'm learning slowly more to do everything through post, go back to Republic. You know what's crazy? I actually had the damn post office give me pushback about general delivery. This happened a few weeks ago. Postmaster was like, yo, we can't hold mail for you no more. I'm like, what the fuck? So I had to reach out to the guy that was above the postmaster to see what the hell was going on. So I'm still working on that. But for some reason, they was just like, yo, we can't hold mail for you no more. I don't know what's going on. They might be trying to get me to buy a P.O. box, which I'm like, yo, I ain't trying to buy no motherfucking P.O. box. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are there for a fucking reason. Y'all over there charging people for P.O. boxes. Can I give you gold for a P.O. box? If I can't give you gold, you're the federal government. I should be able to give you gold. Or I should be able to give you gold coin, one gold coin for a P.O. box permanently. But if I can't do that, then what are we talking about here? You want me to give you Federal Reserve notes? Y'all supposed to be using gold and silver any goddamn way. So yeah, I'm working on that. But yeah, 100%. The post office, man, is the business. Now here's the thing, though. I have learned it's best to go down to the passport office yourself and stop using these satellite post offices to do your passport process. That might be why a majority of us are not getting that endorsement as well. The non-citizen U.S. national endorsement. Might have to go right down because the guy I talked to, he actually went down to the post office. Excuse me. He went down to the passport office himself And it took. He said he was there all day. He got there like 8 o'clock. Gave him the information. Gave him the affidavit. He used a DS10. He did not use a driver's license. He used a DS10, I believe. He said. Um, Something of that nature. Yeah, I think it was a DS10, and he had like one other witness that was there with him. And for verification of identity. So he used those joints, put those through, and then he said they made him wait until the end of the day when everybody was gone, and they handed it to him, and they closed the window right after they handed it. They was like, "Here, sir." He picked it up and was like, "Hold on." He looked back up, and the window was closed. Like, oh shit, they gone. The janitor was like, "All right, exit stage left. Don't answer no questions. Exit stage left." So my man got ushered out very promptly when when he got his passport. Apparently they say he said that they was literally was closed, and they gave his passport after hours and told him he had to leave. So there you have it. By the way, if any of you guys in Wolf's group, anybody who's here is in Bad Wolf's group or Felix Floyd's group, I completely forgot to do it. Yo, share this link on the inside of that group so those people can jump in here too, so we can chop game. But yeah, I spoke to this man, and he basically said he had to go down to the passport office. And me and Floyd was like, yo, it might be a situation where there's multiple things he did differently. He used the DS10 form. He went down to the passport office himself. He did an explanatory statement, which we all know Copper Moonshine's way, Moonshine Still's way of doing it was don't provide an explanatory statement. But look, processes change all the time. So said he did that. And then, he basically did those things and was able to get the proper endorsement. So that's what it is. Now, what affidavit he used, that's for the private. Like Privacy Act 74 and Freedom of Information Act are the same. Like comparing public versus private. I don't have a passport. I accuse myself of being a non-citizen national and leave them to rebut it. I mean, that's fair though. You can also do the administrative process works very well too. You can do an administrative process with the Department of State. I mean, it's a corporation. If there's anything false about this statement, please rebut it. If they don't rebut it within a certain amount of time, I think you got to get a federal government. Like I think they said it's like a minimum 30 days because the federal government's slow as hell. Like if you send them something, you're not gonna get a response. I think I sent the Freedom of Information Act in, and I ain't get a response from them for like I think it was like 10 months. I got what I was looking for back. It took like 10 months, and then to get my my birth certificate authenticated as well. And that took, I want to say, about 7 months. So there was a whole lot of things that were they take long on everything. So I think you got to get a federal government like minimum 30 days. Double check that. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but you can't do them like a third party creditor because them little third party creditors, you can just bitch them like, you got 7 days, motherfucker, to send me what I'm asking for. You know what I'm saying? You can just do them any kind of way because they ain't got no business being there in the first place. Thank you, sir. Happy Father's Day to everybody in the group, to all the dads out there taking care of theirs and handling business like they should be. You know how we do. Yeah, I mean, all right. What up, Truth? What's good? We got another wrench in the house. MD, we going on. What up? No license, no tag. Lost the tag. Won, no license. Oh, there you go. Hey, W's a W. You got the right to travel. You just gotta know how to handle yourself in court. I had one of my dudes I used to ride with back in the day. He works with the state. He's one of them dudes, really straight edge. He was a paralegal for a long time. He's as straight edge as you can be. You know what I mean? Do I need to say more? Took the vaccine. I'm 90%. I didn't ask him, but I'm like 90% sure he took it. All that good stuff. And he's like, he saw my video because he was watching Team Skeptic because he doesn't believe, he's like a atheist. He don't believe in flat earth. He don't believe in none of that stuff. He says we crazy. He's like, yo, you guys sound like sovereign citizens. So he goes, he saw my video. He was like, yo, I saw your video on YouTube on Team Skeptic. So he said, man, that was intense. I said, yeah, that's how it is when you're standing on your rights. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's gonna be like that. He was like, yo, you just gotta be careful, yo, because sometimes these police out here is crazy. I said, man, I'll be honest with you, bro. At some point, you just gotta just let the Most High handle that joint. But he not religious. He don't have no type of spiritual, inclination. Like he's just he just think when you die, just blackness. That's it. Just nothing. That's the most narrow minded thing. Listen. That to me is just right there. It just tells me like, yo, something is off. You must be an NPC or something. Like you just honestly believe out of all of these things that happen with just a cosmic coincidence. You know what I mean? No, man. There's a bigger purpose behind all of these things. We're all here for a purpose. Nobody's just here out of nowhere. Listen, there was 100 million sperm that left your dad's schlong to get to your mother's egg. You know what I mean? You happen to be the one that took the W. Pulled the Michael Phelps out. So you just think you hear about coincidence? No, man. Everybody's here for a purpose. Absolutely. We all got a purpose here, man. And there's people who don't see that are incapable of knowing or seeing these things that are the most unhappy with their lives. So he just goes, oh man, well, yeah. I know I respect what you're doing, man, but I just wish you would be more careful. You know what I'm saying? He was like, but so after all of that, man, are you still riding around with the private plates? I said, well, respectfully, you're on the inside, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this conversation. In terms of giving you information, I'm gonna end this convo with this. We're not using the private plates over here anymore, but we're still moving private. And I said, I'm leaving it there because you, sir, play for the opposite side. It's like when Charles Xavier and Professor X played chess. You know what I'm saying? Charles Xavier, Charles Xavier and Magneto play chess. Eric Magnus play chess or whatever. They supposed to be enemies on paper, but they still homeboys. That type of thing. So now, I know a few people in this plugged into the matrix, but you can only give them so much information. With EIN make business account, they can set you up with cancel stamps. Who's he talking about? Sound like you was cooking, but I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, I did a little bit, and you mentioned your moderator. I make it quick. Okay, I really, really, really love. Hey, Wes, I ain't mad. But check this out. Now, here's the crazy part, right? That's your right. You have a right to love them. You can love them. That's fine. But my issue is now, and this is the conversation I had with some other people about this whole VAXX situation and the whole mask situation. Like, listen, people are like, oh well, how do you feel about the people that are being told that they can't come inside? They can't come inside of restaurants. And I think it was Texas or something like that, where the owner was like, you can't come in this restaurant if you have taken a VAX, the C19 VAX, or you wearing a K9 mask or any kind of mask, you can't come in here. He flipped the script on him. And they was like, well, what do you think about that? I said, yo, I'll be honest with you. I think dude is wrong. I said, I think dude is wrong because if somebody feels as though they want to wear a mask and take a shot, you know what I'm saying? That's on them. They have the right to decide. But don't come over here telling me I got to do that shit. You can shut your ass, basically. No, thank you. Shut your hole. I will not comply with your bullshit. That's where I'm at with it. Like, I'm not trying to be on no type of thing where I'm telling people you can't wear a mask. Nah, look, if wearing a mask makes you feel safe, you want to exercise your right to wear a mask, go ahead. I see no problem with this. I'll even defend your right if somebody tries to get on you about it. I'll defend your right to do so. You know what I'm saying? It's not one way with me, man. Like, and that's how it should be with everybody. But that's your right. If you love them, hey, go for it, man. Don't look over here though. Nationals do not need to use post office boxes. The use of post office box puts you back in the federal territory. The use of a zip code, all nationals need to learn. iPostal. Yeah, yo, the iPostal one joint. It's been something I've been putting off, honestly. I need to get on that and be like serious with it though. That's 100% facts. I do need to get down and crack with it because it is definitely going to be something I'm gonna have to utilize. DS10, the change version. Now the DS10 is supposed to be the affidavit. If you look up the phone, it's basically a phone. If you look up the information or the form, it's actually a affidavit. Like you fill it out and all that stuff, and it's got you're declaring who you are, and so many words. Talking about a box. Can the 08, 09 endorsement be written in? I think I remember Wolf explaining that in his first endorsement video. I don't know about 08, but the only two endorsements that really stood out to me were 09 for national, non-citizen national, and 04. 04 was the no-fee passport, which is very interesting because I remember Patrick Devine put a video out, and he was talking about how to get the no-fee passport. The no-fee passport, back when he was doing it, didn't necessarily have an endorsement. There was a process you had to follow otherwise to get it. But I'm wondering if you do the 04 endorsement, you're right in 04 and 09. I think you can only do two at a time, if I'm not mistaken. I spoke to Wolf about that. He seems to be under the impression that you can do two of them. So I'm like, yo, what if you did 04 for no fee passport? Because technically you shouldn't even have to pay for this service. And then two, if you did 090, which basically got you the U.S. national passport. That's what I'm in the midst of discussing right now and trying to get to the bottom of that. I'm going to have to book an appointment to go down there myself and get that process done. When I do, though, it'll probably be, you'll probably have to have me talk to you about it in the private so I can give you my experience. I probably won't put that in the public. You can do mailings from home if you want official business. I really don't like, you know what I'm saying? No, that really, because here's the problem with using an address for your house. Like, yo, with using an address for your house, like, yo, do you know how many hacks and how many information data breaches or whatever they had last year? There was like 50 of them last year. I mean, what? Look up how many companies last year had data breaches. It was crazy. Like, you ain't really trying to have that information going all over the place. F that. You want to stay private. Get traffic updates as they're moving around too. Yeah, you can get tracking updates as they're moving around with the iPostal OneDroid. We need our own private internet, just like Batman. And y'all need the shadow help Trump do better long term. Invisible goes a long ways if the Americans. Yo, listen, man. I'm not on that Trump. Listen. I know why you guys like Trump so much. I get it, yo. I get it. But you guys gotta stop liking the actors that are a part of the fucking show that you guys don't like. Listen, nobody that's put on that television is put there that you weren't supposed to see. Y'all gotta stop that shit, yo. Like, I get it. The lesser of the two evils. I got it. I get it. Do you know the Supreme Court just struck down a bump stock ban on arms that Trump induced? Trump passed the most gun what is it? What do they call them? Gun restrictions or gun control laws out of all the presidents. Even Obama. Like, yo, this dude got busy with the joints. You know what I'm saying? They just struck it down, so it was unconstitutional. So Donald Trump put in a bump stock ban that was unconstitutional. And you guys are backing them. Like, listen, y'all got to stop having favorite actors on the show. Y'all talking about y'all don't like the show and y'all like this actor because he's not really acting. Y'all sound like when we used to watch WWF back in the day and everybody thought that CM Punk was like the realness because he talks about stuff that happens behind the scenes. He's a fucking actor. You know what I mean? No. The DS-10 is a birth affidavit. Right, exactly. You have to use forms of identity to get a passport. Can a person even have any more babies after they take the Frankenstein jab? Yeah, listen, I done heard all kinds of weird stuff and conditions that them children are born with. I done seen children born with black eyes. The part of the eyes are supposed to be white being blacked out. I done seen all kinds of weird stuff. You know what I'm saying? From that shot. Yeah, it's not even a vax. It's an mRNA. Supreme Court ruled it was an mRNA. It's not even a vax. Considered a 148-page study of the CDC with every word redacted. Right. How about that? How about that? You can do that too, man, with the trust. I mean, like, you got to trust. That's a whole separate animal right there. That's a lot of things you can do when you got the trust. You know what I'm saying? I even heard people say, with the trust, I just use my home address because they can't really mess with the trust anyway. The trust was created to keep the government's hands off of certain shit. Look up the book Invisible Contracts, the section on the residency contract, and you'll never use the home address for anything again. There you go. There you go. Home address is a no-no. If you feel as though that you got to send me something and you want to send it listen, if you want to do business with with people, the place you lay your head, you go right ahead and do that. It's just like if you in the street game, you know what I'm saying? You ain't trying to be selling nothing out your house. You ain't trying to be. Oh, I saw this one video on Instagram where this dude was doing that very thing. He was moving stuff out of his crib, and this fiend came and knocked on his door like 4 in the morning on a Sunday night. He was like, or Sunday morning technically. It was still night outside. He said, "I need you bad, big dog. I need you bad. This stuff don't got no time, man. I need you bad, man. Come on, man." Hey, you know what I'm saying? No, sir, absolutely not. You know, I remember I was in court one time, and they tried to say the judge was trying to be nice because she was trying to get me to drop an address to get so they can get jurisdiction. So she said, "Well, he said he sent you the document you're asking for. Maybe we need to go on record and have you declare exactly what is your address, because the address he's supposedly have sent it to is the address that was on file." I said, she said, I said, "Well, I have a mailing address. You guys can send it to general delivery if you want to send it." So she said, "Well, no, not where you receive mail. Where do you live?" I said, "With all due respect, Your Honor, I live inside my body." What do you mean? Where do I live? What? What kind of question is that? You know what I'm saying? Where do I live? I live in my body. I'm a soul. I'm not the body. Most High put me here for a purpose. I ain't no goddamn flesh. I'm in this body. Did the guy put a social security number for the DS10? Yeah. So he said he did the social security number for the DS10, but he put brackets around it too, which you guys should be doing anyway. You guys should be using the 4 corner brackets rule. That should 1,000% be something all of you guys are using. Anytime you're asked to put any documents on it, any information on anything. It's a lot of other things too that if you guys are still out there doing commercial business, you should be doing. You know what I'm saying? Um, we'll save that for the private as well. But if you need a consultation, reach out to me. I got you. But yeah, there's a lot of different things you guys can do to protect yourselves, you know. And yes, 100%. The brackets around the social security number is 1,000% the way if you have to use it for whatever purpose. All right. Let's talk about this, man. So this is the buzz that's going around on the internet today. People are, all the U.S. citizens are up in arms. People are panicking. People are afraid. And us, we already know the deal. So we like, yeah, we good, man. We ain't worried about that. So apparently the House passes a bill to automatically register young men for the draft. The Selective Service Act should be abolished, not made more efficient and equitable. Now this looks like a liberal news article. I don't know. Let's see what they say. The House passed a large defense bill Friday evening that included a provision that would automatically enroll young men between the ages of 18 to 26 for the Selective Service. Now, this article is saying young men, but that's literally not what the government says. They're not going to say men. They can't say man or men. They're going to say male or female. They're not going to say man or men because they can't. They have to interface with legal fictions. The House version of the National Defense Authorization Act, which would authorize $895 billion military spending, passed by a vote of 217 to 199. It is unlikely to be picked up by the Democrat-controlled Senate because of numerous amendments regarding abortion, diversity efforts, and transgender medical treatments. The Selective Service provision, though, is part of an enduring bipartisan effort to keep framework for military conscription in place, even though the draft ended in 1975. Now, for those of you who are aware, we're not concerned at all. The reason we're not concerned is because the Selective Service provision has been there. This is not anything new. They just saying they basically made it so that you don't have to register anymore. So it sounds like to me they're trying to walk back their fraud, not telling people exactly what was going on. You know what I'm saying? Automatic registration will replace the coming age tradition that all 18-year-old male, there you go, male, there we go. What I tell you just a second ago, male U.S. citizens experience when they get a card in the mail from Uncle Sam informing them they're required under the threat of criminal penalties to register for the Selective Service. They're talking about the ens legis, okay? Supporters of the legislation framed it as a more efficient and cost-effective method. By using available federal databases, which is basically the driver's license database. When you go to get a driver's license, that's what you also get in the mail. You're creating the person. You're creating the person when you get the driver's license. The driver's license is literally the debtor. Now they use the birth certificate. They create the straw man for federal purposes also. However, that's why when you go to the Department of Motor Vehicles and you get a ID or a driver's license, that's why not too long after that, you get a notice for Selective Service. It is for the ens legis. When you drop your autograph underneath that driver's license, you are stating that you are the fiduciary and you don't protect your signature in any way. You're stating that you are the fiduciary and bear responsibility for that ens legis. Facts. So the available database, federal database, is going to be the federal driver record system. Now, it has a specific acronym. I don't remember what it is, but there's a federal system. This is why when you get a DUI in Texas and you take your Texas driver's license and you get pulled over in Virginia and he runs your Texas driver's license, he's going to find that DUI in the federal system. The federal system is what pulls all the states together. The states themselves are individual businesses. They have their own EIN. Okay? They're separate. They're underneath the umbrella of the federal government. The federal government is the trust. So that system is set up with the federal government. So when you get pulled over in another state with a DUI and your license is supposed to be suspended, your ass goes to jail because they look in that federal system and find it. And that's why you end up getting hemmed up. That's how it works. So this is what they use. They're going to use the federal system, which they've been doing. This is not anything new. The system is literally there for this reason. Okay? By using all available federal databases, the Selective Service Agency will be able to register all the individuals required and thus help to ensure that any future military draft is fair and equitable. Republican Chrissy Houlihan said on the House floor, this will allow us to rededicate resources. Basically, that means money towards reading readiness, towards mobilization, rather than towards the education, advertising campaigns driven to register people. This is so simple to reverse. It's not even really worth talking about. There's so many ways that you can really just shut this shit down. So many ways. For any of you guys who have children and are concerned about this, they're literally making it stupid easy for you to shut this down. 1,000%. The other unspoken effect would be removing young men's choice to engage in civil disobedience. The fuck does that even mean? The draft is a hobby horse for Houlihan, an Air Force veteran. She also spearheaded a House bill in 2021 to require women to register with the Selective Service, effectively doubling the draft pool. I remember this. We talked about this in 2021 and 2022. As reasons Matt Welch wrote in 2021, the Selective Service is not a proud part of America's civil fabric, but an on-again, off-again tool to the Pentagon. The Selective Service system was first founded in 1917 to feed bodies into America's World War I efforts. It was disbanded in 1920. All right, so they got rid of it in 1920. This is right, but this is when they were still using gold and silver. So that was the last official draft, was when they were still using gold and silver. Okay, they fired it back up in 1940. However, this was under the corporation. This was no longer under the Republic. The Republic ended up getting overlaid by the corporation once we got Social Security Act, once we got Federal Reserve Act, things like that. You know what I'm saying? The gold clause and all of that stuff. These things that were all put in effect to get the republic the fuck out of here, like they always wanted to do in the first place. Reformatted in 1948 and then terminated in 1975 as part of Washington's decisive shift to an all-voluntary military. Then a panicky President Jimmy Carter in 1980 alarmed the Soviet Union's invasion of Afghanistan, alarmed by the Soviet Union's invasion of Afghanistan, reinstituted the draft registration as a just-in-case rite of passage for boys to complete within 30 days of their 18th birthday, under theoretical penalty of 5 years imprisonment, up to $250,000 in fines. I know nobody that got hemmed up for this. I've read multiple stories of people in selective service. There's even a Reddit. You guys got to start looking at the Reddit videos too. Reddit is NPC central, but it's still good to listen to some of this stuff. There's a Reddit thing about people who refused to sign up for the draft at 18 because they didn't believe in it. And they were like, yo, nothing really happened. I mean, I went to go get a loan for a house and they wouldn't give me a loan. The federal government wouldn't give me a loan because I didn't select the service or whatever like that. But that was it. I didn't go to jail or anything. A lot of people said that they just couldn't get any federal benefits. Which if you try to be private, you really don't want no federal benefits in the first damn place. You want to be left alone. So yeah, there's that. I don't know anybody that's actually got hemmed up for this. Besides, and they try to say Muhammad Ali, he got hemmed up for draft dodging. Man, let me explain something to you. If you think for 1 second that Muhammad Ali wasn't a part of Hollywood, you're a fool. If you don't know yet that this stuff is put in front of you so that you can see exactly what they want you to see, you're a fool. Yes, he was a very talented boxer. Very talented, very skilled athlete. Not taking that away from him. However, he going to say exactly what the hell he going to say that publicist tells him to say. A lot of these things we see happening in front of us, same thing they do when they try to harass you for traveling and stuff like that. You swear up and down in court, they try to throw you to the wolves. Shit is a show. While there have been only 14 convictions for selective service refuseniks, 14 out of all of those hundreds and thousands of people that didn't, and none since 1986. These are 100,000 or so young men per year who disobey Washington's marching orders are typically barred from working government jobs, receiving student loans, and obtaining a driver's license. There you go. There you go. Right there. There you go. There you go. There you go. So listen, I suspected for a long time that the selective service might have been the carte blanche to throw us into these military tribunals. Because when you elect selective service, you are effectively making yourself standby military. That is a question I've been asking for over 4 years now. I'm not even going to read this out loud. Oh, man. Straight up, son. Straight up. Hey, I'm not mad at that. Anything federal happens within the democracy, Roman civil law, and is full of hidden contracts and compelled performance. However, your participation in this democracy is a political one. Absolutely. It's got to be voluntary, man. They got hidden contracts for you left and right out the gazoo, but they still need you to say, all right, give me that. And then they hit you with everything else and let you figure it out later. What up, Civic Maker? What's good? Each state is already locking that age range already up, so why make that a law? Make that law. I mean, yeah, it's a good question. If one needs a license, right? But then again, I willingly did 4 years Air Force, so fair enough. And my man Lawrence got busy. he said that. There's a growing centrist consensus among liberals and hawkish conservatives on expanding selective service. The American Civil Liberties Union, for instance, is fighting for the right of women to be conscripted and argues that selective service is an listen, you know what's crazy? I have never heard a feminist or anyone who stands up for women's rights complain about women not having to sign up for selective service. Not one time. I never hear it. I never hear him complaining about having to pay less car insurance when they turn 18 compared to a boy the same age that's trying to get the same insurance for the same car, but their insurance is cheaper. I never hear him complain about equality for that. I never hear him complain about equality for women getting free at this club after 11 p.m. Women are free. Guys got to pay double the fee to get in because that's where all the girls are. Never heard him complain about that. It's never those things in that particular light. It's always other stupid stuff like, oh, we want these jobs. The pay scale is off. We never hear, you know what I'm saying? What we're talking about right now for some weird reason. I wonder why that would be. But whatever. Let's continue. But equality in the service of a broader deprivation of rights is no virtue, and conscription remains an immoral institution at its core. Conscription of any kind contravenes any constitution that professes to guarantee individual liberties. Fred Etchferry wrote in Reason 1972 when the draft remained an active menace to young men. Otherwise, what is to prevent conscription from being the 12 months Senator Taft feared over the 2 years we now have? The 4 years of National Service Act bill or forever. If conscription is limited to an emergency, then who decides what is an emergency? That is a good point. And this is why when people say the Constitution is suspended in times of an emergency, it's completely foolish, completely incorrect. Because at that point they're just all right, cool, permanent emergency. Now there's no Constitution. That's why the Constitution was literally put in place to prevent anything like that from happening. So no, that is not true. That is fact. That is facts. Is 10% unemployment a sufficient enough emergency to warrant conscription? He brings up good points. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys want to look into that, you can. But everybody's up in arms about it, and everybody's worried about a war between Russia and the USA. Listen, let me tell you guys something. Somebody asked me about that last week. Well, what is your take on that? Look, as long as all of those countries agree, none of those people from any country, no matter what country it is, are allowed to go to parts of the North Pole. There's a treaty for all the countries around the world that nobody's to mine the precious, unlimited resources that are available in the North Pole. We're talking gold, we're talking plutonium, silver, copper, any of that, anything you literally countries go to war over, any of those things that are found in the North Pole that nobody is allowed to mine. When they break that contract, then we'll talk about nations not being in cahoots. But if as long as there's one agreement to keep everybody away from the North Pole, that would only basically what could possibly tie all nations leaders together? What is the one thing all nation leaders have in common? Control over the people. That's it. It's that simple. So whatever's there is going to completely strip them of their control. And they don't want people to see it. So miss me with all that USA versus Russia, Korea versus these people, North America versus North Korea. Miss me with the whatever the hell's going on now because I don't pay attention to any of that stuff. Miss me with all of that. All of these people are in bed together. They all using the same uniform commercial code system. Might be worded different. There's no gold or silver in their economies either. Only ones I know of that are not connected to them is North Sentinel Island. And if you go to North Sentinel Island, you'll get an arrow through your face for even coming over near the water. Not even near the land. If you come near the shore, they're going to put a spear through your face. That's the only place I know that's not in bed. And they might still be in bed with them too. They might be protecting some kind of secret artifact or something like that. Who knows, man? But I'm gonna tell you something. These people know every goddamn thing. They got books on all of this stuff. The books are the information that we have questions on. What happened here? You know what I'm saying? The truth is definitely somewhere in a government archive. Literally redefining words as they go, instantly creating felons. Yeah. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's facts. That generation don't want to work, let alone sign up for the draft. I don't blame them. Listen, man. At first I was saying that they were on some bullshit, but I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like this is a steaming ball of shit. Like this whole entire I'm not even gonna say experience, but this whole entire society right now is a steaming ball of garbage. You know, you got social media completely ruining the younger girls, man. I done seen girls, beautiful girls, man, really good looking girls, swear up and down they need lip injections trying to keep up with Kylie Jenner. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, most of these videos that come out or these photos of Kylie Jenner have been doctored like horribly. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful women still want to get lip injections. You know what I'm saying? They just don't think they're as pretty as this girl. They want to dye their hair and do all this other stuff. Listen, bro, I'm telling you, social media has done irreversible damage on the younger women. And the problem with it is I don't see it stopping, yo. I really don't see an end game to it. The only thing I can really see that's going to stop it is like a electromagnetic pulse. That's it. Because yo, as long as they have, because yo, let's be honest. As far as females go, uh, females need food, water, shelter, and attention. Those are the four things females need. You know what I'm saying? Social media has completely overstimulated women in general. Like if you look at majority of the women on social media, they're trying to keep up with celebrities, which is completely irrational. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's like I really don't see a reversal to this, man. I don't, crazy. But yeah, I don't see it stopping. Like we've already gotten to a point where a female can just drop a picture, even with a filter on or something like that. If she got blemishes on her face, she can make a filter, drop a picture on her profile, and just get like 200, 300 likes. You know what I'm saying? And get validated that way. But that's attention. But yeah, we've created a giant clusterfuck. I really don't know what's going to happen next at this point. The Antarctic Treaty. I asked to go to the wintered over patch. They sent me to the deserts instead. That's crazy. They sent you to the desert. Damn. So with all the trans crap going on, how's it gonna hit you know what and you know what else is interesting, Jay Black? What I was thinking about earlier. So I said, yo, if it's a situation where they're sending all young men, and it's got to be done through the voting system and through the driver's license system. If you look on the new DS11 form, there's actually a section between male and female where you can just put gender X. You can actually select that gender X. I'm wondering, like, yo, if you're gender X, or if you just put female on there, and you're supposed to be you were born a man, and you basically put female on there, are they still gonna register? How does that work? What are the parameters to this thing, man? Like, we need to know the clear, defined boundaries. But we're never gonna get solid answers from the government on this. You can do a Freedom of Information Act. I done seen people. I done seen the federal government, the Department of State, dance around people's U.S. citizen questions with the Freedom of Information Act. I read one last week. They literally contradicted themselves a paragraph later. Like everything they said in the first paragraph was like, "Yo, we only do this, that, and the third. We don't handle things pertaining to that." And then they said, "But we do handle this, which pertains to this, which pertains to this situation." What are you talking about? And they never even answered this question. So it was like, yo, in so many words, they just gave you some horse crap. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. Yeah, listen, I don't know. Listen, man. I'm gonna just say this for us: we're not concerned because we know these are all businesses, and they all have to move like a business in a certain light. So we're not really particularly concerned with stuff like that. But man, I tell you, the people who don't know what's going on and refuse to listen to us, man, they up in arms right now. They're afraid, which they should be. You know what I'm saying? You get punished for lack of knowledge. 1 second. All right, let's talk about what's going on here in Maryland. So I wanted to share this with you guys a while ago. I actually didn't get around to it. So this is the same thing that happened in California, and I specifically remember reading about this before it happened. There was an article that came out like about, I think this might have been about 15 years ago, before Cali started getting ridiculous with their prices, when it was still affordable to live in California. So I'm gonna read to you exactly what I'm talking about. Governor Moore signs housing legislation to make Maryland more affordable. Okay. Governor Wes Moore signed 3 housing bills today dedicated to making Maryland more affordable. The bills address concentrated poverty in Maryland's marginalized communities. We already know what that means. Reduce instability in Maryland's housing supply and affordability, and enhance our rights for Maryland renters, according to the governor's office. All right. So we already heard about the vacant houses being sold for $1. The inside sauce on that is you got to have $90,000 in your bank account, and you have to do renovations to either A, live inside the house, or B, you have to do it to sell the house. But you can't just buy the vacant and not do anything with it. You got to renovate it, show renovations, and show a renovation plan and intent to renovate. And you can buy it for $1. The government will sell it to you for $1, which is cool. I've seen some of the houses. Okay, now here's what I'm gonna say. Some of the houses are very nice on the inside. What they'll do is they'll take the vacant and they'll knock everything out of the inside. I mean, upstairs floor, downstairs floor, boiler room, everything stripped bare. You'll just be able to see just the inside of the whole 2-floor joint. No, nothing there, just the bricks. And then they'll just rebuild everything, right? So here's the problem though. You got this rebuilt house, which looks great. The house is even cheap comparatively. You might be able to get one of those houses for 215,000. I'm talking about a row house. A row house. One of the it's kind of like a townhouse. It's just a lot smaller, but they call them row houses here. So you might be able to get one of those houses for like 215,000. And in Maryland, that's unheard of. I mean, houses now is going for 450K and up, 500,000 and up, depending on where you want to live at. The problem is these vacants are in the slums. So you might get hit with a damn shell while you're brushing your teeth. You might be holding your PlayStation 5 controller and a 45 ACP round might knock it out of your hand. It's not funny, but I mean, you know what I mean? And I get what's happening. Like if you were to buy one of those properties and flip it and something like that, or just hold on to it and wait until the area, because what's going to happen eventually is they're going to gentrify the whole area. You can look at what happened in Detroit, and you can Detroit has whole suburban neighborhoods, which if those suburban neighborhoods still had the auto industry supporting them, because a lot of those factory workers got fucked when the industrial revolution failed. Like when they got rid of a lot of those warehouses where those guys built those cars like Pontiac and things like that in Detroit, Michigan. I'm telling you, bro, a lot of those guys that supported their families, they could no longer afford to live there anymore. They got laid off. So they ended up having to move. So the houses just sat. So a lot of the houses out there in Detroit in certain areas, like if you watch 8 Mile with Eminem, there's something called the Devil's Night out in Detroit. For those of you who aren't aware, the Devil's Night is the night before Halloween. There's a big rash of arson that happens in Detroit. And what the kids do is they'll run around and they'll burn down vacant houses. And sometimes people are in those houses, which is what happened at 8 Mile. There was a little girl who was homeless living with her family inside of a vacant, and it got burned down and she ended up getting killed. That was on 8 Mile though. But they were talking about, that was Devil's Night. So what happens is these areas, they take a big slam and the people leave, and the area just goes to complete SHIT, right? People come in and buy the property, something like that, fix the property up, and they do something to get all the people from out of the city back to the suburbs, like they did originally when all the indigenous American people wanted to move from the farms, and we wanted to move into the city, and then they moved all of the people from out of the projects. The projects used to be really nice. If you look at George Jefferson and Wheezy's show, Moving On Up, they lived in a high-rise apartment. It was very luxurious. You know what I'm saying? Everything was top of the line. It was very expensive and high status to live there. Well, when they started moving those people out to the suburbs from the newly built houses and stuff like that, these vacants started to get filled with the poor people, which at that time were the indigenous Americans. And then because the poor people weren't able to pay rent, the landlord ended up selling the house, the complex. So somebody bought it cheap, and you know what happens when they buy it cheap? They not getting no damn rent. They not fixing nothing. So then you got roach infestation, rat infestation. You got mice. You got all kinds of nasty things. Crime. You know what I'm saying? Drugs. All of that nasty stuff that happens when the area is not maintained. I'm saying all this to say this is a game of Monopoly, and every so often it flips back and forth. What we're about to see is we're about to see the city get completely cleaned out again. They're gonna move everybody, all the riffraff out in Section 8, out to the county areas. And they've already started doing it. If you look at some of the Baltimore City areas, you might have an area that's like really high line. And if you turn one corner, you might be on a set of The Wire type thing. Like if you guys watch The Wire, you might literally be standing where, you know what I'm saying, Bodie got shot at in the movie. You might be standing right there. You know what I'm talking about? But that's how it works. So they're slowly moving these people from out of these areas. And what you're witnessing right now is these houses get bought up and being turned into nice homes, affordable to live in. And what's going to happen is when it flips back over, they're going to make a killing because these houses are going to be going for almost $1 million. The same thing that's happening right now in the other areas of Maryland is going to happen in the city. You know, it flips back and forth. It's monopoly. That's a really good episode of the Boondocks. That was called, I think it was about Granddad had made something called the Luther, and it was 2 Krispy Kreme donuts and a cheeseburger, fried cheeseburger or something like it was something crazy. It was a bunch of it was wild. Onions, you know what I'm saying? A slab of bacon, you know, some ham. It was just an absurd amount of cholesterol, heart-stopping food, all put into one sandwich, and it was dipped in fried batter. So like, yo, these people were eating this stuff, and you know, Mick Wunsler, who was actually he took a bite of the sandwich and said, "This is delicious. Listen, how about I buy you a restaurant? How about you sell these in your restaurant and I'll put the money behind it and we both get rich?" So he says, absolutely. So Wunsler goes down to this one area he'd been trying to buy, but they keep trying to F him on the price, he said. But he said he had a plan. So he buys a little restaurant right across the street from this park that he's trying to buy, moves the Asians out, keeps the Latino cooks, of course, moves Uncle what's his name, Granddad in, and Granddad starts selling these sandwiches, and supposedly the sandwiches were a metaphor for hard drugs. So people are addicted. You know, they start to attract the wrong kind of crowd. You know, people start stealing, people start getting mugged in the area because the food is just so low quality. The wrong kinds of people are coming there. So it drives the property price down to the park he's trying to buy. So he buys the park when the price is low and then puts the restaurant out of business. Monopoly. This is how it works, right? So here's the thing. What we're witnessing literally is real life monopoly. All right, let's read what Governor Westmore is talking about. We made the choice to put housing front and center this year because we know this issue can't wait. Building a stronger housing market can't wait. Tackling a housing shortage of 96,000 units in Maryland can't wait. He's talking about vacants. We introduced the most comprehensive housing package of any Maryland administration in recent history, and we're unapologetic about it. There you go. Thanks to Governor Moore's leadership and working together with legislators and housing advocates, this was the most impactful session for housing in recent Maryland history, said Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development Secretary Jake Day. This year marks the turning point for the state to reduce the housing shortage, protect renters, and ultimately make Maryland a more affordable, desirable place to live. Oh, they don't have no details about it. Oh man, well, listen. All right, so I did more reading into it. They don't have it on this particular website, but basically, he's gonna put a cap on how much renters can charge or increase year to year. They did this same exact thing in Cali and some of the Los Angeles apartments, housing areas. They put a cap on how much they can actually increase the rent, right? So here's what happened. The owners of the units couldn't collect enough rent from these particular places in order to properly maintain them. So they would take what they could get, and certain repairs wouldn't get done. You got a roach problem, there's nothing he can do about it. He's not going to do anything about it. You got a rat problem, better get a cat. That type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? These people are in business to make money. These people are not in business to be giving their profits away. They own units and they're renting the units out in order to make Federal Reserve notes in fiat. This is why they're doing it. You can't force them to not take more in and expect them to upkeep the property. So what happens? Any self-respecting renter or self-respecting tenant is going to say, I'm leaving. This place was nice, but now it's bugs in here. This place was nice, but now there's people smoking all kinds of stuff out front of the damn building. There's loud music in the car. I don't want to live here anymore. So that the respectable people leave, right? The undesirables move in because at that point it's got a negative review. So now it's like, all right, only people they got to take what they could get. So now they got the lower income people moving in, you know. There you have it. So now the rent's not being basically taken care of or secured as it should be. And on top of that, the apartments are not being maintained. This is the very start of that. You know what I'm saying? So when you start to have the government meddling into how much rent can be increased, that is going to cause a huge problem. This is why California is unbearably expensive to live in. This is why New York is unbearably expensive to live in. Starts at that particular stroke of a pen. The Department of State just did the same thing to me, told me to go to the law library. They denied answering anything. Joe, you gotta love them. You gotta love them, man. You gotta love them, man. I'd go for administrative process in that case. Shit, fuck that. Get those affairs in line. No, but what up? What up? Peace and love, brother. How's the moor? I'm pretty good, man. How about yourself? Tony, what's good, man? Ain't seen Tony in a minute. But yeah, man. So listen, it is watching these things happen, man, and that happened in April. You know what I'm saying? So watching these pieces fall into place is very predictable where this thing is headed. It's not unpredictable at all. Not even close. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Matter of fact, let me go right here and see what we got. All right. Okay. Yeah, let's talk about this real quick. I want you guys to see this video. We got about like 15 more minutes before we wrap it up for the night. Let's talk about this right here.
A German flat Earth map from World War II has just been uncovered, and it depicts another ice wall all around Earth with other continents and land masses that are outside of it. And supposedly, Germany during this time period went on expeditions. See these black circles? I had to erase that so we didn't have to see their symbol, but this is supposedly where they went out and just claimed this land. Here's New Schwabenland, whatever that is. And they actually have Asgard way over there. And then up here, we've got Terra de Vista. I'm not sure what that is. And I don't know what that is either. Is that supposed to be the top of the earth or something? And then over here, we have the lost continent of Lemuria, which apparently went underneath the sea and sank somehow, but I guess it's on this map from the 1940s. But a lot of these words we can't even read because it's in German. But this is also a reflection of the moon map, if you've ever seen that.
If anybody has an actual picture of that, please send it to me. I'd be very, very interested to look at that. And somebody said he said it looks like the moon map. Making progress, mastery. Okay. Putting that stuff to work. That's what it is. In California, especially up north, the earth been shifting. People have been finding old world artifacts in their backyards. This for both residential and commercial because they're on old burial grounds. 100%. Yeah, there was a couple who in California who found a case of gold coins. I think they said they dug in their backyard or something like that. And they found this case of golden coins. And they said the guy wanted to price one of the coins out. And I think one of the coins was valued at like $2 million for one freaking coin. I'm like, yo, bruh, that is crazy. And we talked about this on this channel, man. The dude's like, I don't think I would have went public with that. Like, yo, nah, man. I would have just disappeared. I probably would have took the coin somewhere, one coin. I'd have moved the joint and I'd have just been ghost, son. I would have, man, listen, I'd have been on some, you know what I'm saying? I'd have moved and groove with that, and move and shake a little bit with that joint because ain't no way in the world the news is gonna know about it. Hell no. They found a case of gold coins. I think he said they were pirate booty or something like that. Pirate treasure. That's wild. That looks just like the crater of the moon. How about that? Yeah, he was saying it looks like the moon map, which they were saying that the moon is actually a reflection of how the earth actually looks with certain points on it. You know, the moon's actually reflecting how the earth looks, which is crazy. Crazy. Interesting stuff. But if anybody has a copy of that map, please email it to me. Emails at the bottom. For those of you who aren't subscribed, I'm almost at 7K. If y'all are not subscribed, which we got a few people who watch the live streams who aren't subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button, man. Give me the support. Get me to 7K. I think I need about, how many more do I need? I need 4 more subs. It said 4, but now it says 5. YouTube's been playing with my subscribers lately. I need 5 more subs to get me a 7K. Let's get to 7, man. 7K. And then when I get 3,000 more, I'll be up to 10K. You know, that'll be what's up. I'm trying to be like my brother Wolf and have like 30,000 subscribers, man. More people watching, the more the message gets out. But yeah, this has been it's been a battle, man, getting this information out as much as possible. It's definitely been a battle because we don't have the machine behind us, man. Now I've known some people actually got behind the machine and they got their channels pushed forward. Like I know a guy that started doing he was doing travel content, which is I love travel content. Travel content's fire. But he was basically doing like an American that moved to Thailand and who lived in the Philippines and stuff like that. And man, his channel took off. I think he ended up getting like 80,000 subscribers in like the first year. And I'm like, here I am over here fighting my ass off because the content is different. You know, first off, it's not backed by the system. The system really doesn't want this information out. So YouTube is not going to give you any assistance. Somebody searching for something, they're going to push your video all the way down to the bottom. Only way I can really get new subscribers is by just pushing the videos out, word of mouth, that type of thing. I got to get back into my cards thing. I got these little stickers I was using. Got to get back into that. But, you know, if we can get that an additional 5 subs, that'd be great. Get up to 7. You know what I'm saying? We can get there. But all right, shoot, man, we almost creeping up on 1:30 now. Matter of fact, you know, I haven't done this in a long time. Let me do this real quick. Let me do this. Give me a second. Let me get this together. I haven't done this in a while. You guys haven't seen me do this in months. One second. Carte Blanche, thank you for subscribing. Good looking out. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else who hadn't subscribed? I know I get a lot of viewers that watch that aren't subscribed. My videos do pop up in their feed still. Please consider hitting that subscribe button. You don't have to donate anything if you don't want. If you want to, that's cool too. Cash App is at the bottom. If you just like to subscribe, that's cool. Now, where is this video? Ah, there it is. I got it. I found it. All right, here we go. The sound back on. All right. So for those of you who have been hitting my email and got consultations and have been taking the W from these fake ass creditors trying to sue them, and the creditors walking out of courtroom looking disappointed because their case got dismissed for different purposes. This one's for them scrubs. All right. And that's what it
made a
is.
short a while back talking about.
And that's what it is. You guys haven't seen that one in a long time. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But yeah, we've been taking the W's. And that's what's up. All right, let me go ahead and drop the link here for anybody that wants to drop any information they may have or anything of the sort. There's the link for those who want to jump in. And let me go ahead and drop this here as well, just in case there's anybody who feels so inclined. There is the Cash App right there. That's the Cash App. If you want to donate, if you're feeling so generous to donate, you can do so there. And if you want to hop on, the link is there as well. We'll probably go for like another few minutes. But yeah, man, this the information is great though. It's just good to see that we're making good ground. They're starting to change things because of the way we're moving. You know, enough people are inquiring about these things that we're finding in their books. You know what I'm saying? And when that happens in mass, they have to make an adjustment because at the end of the day, they are trustees. We are the beneficiaries. So they are supposed to do things that benefit us for the best, what's good for the beneficiaries and what's good for the trust. That's literally what it is. So, you know, when we're going around moving privately and stuff like that, and we're you know, just remaining out of the eye of the government and things like that, and we don't want to contract, or if we contract, we're doing it within a certain way. These are all things that we need to make sure we're aware of. And we also need to teach our children too. When our children are growing up and they're doing business with the government or doing business with the state, they need to make sure that they are recognized as beneficiaries. They need to have a full awareness of what is happening in front of them, because if not, they'll be in the same situation we're in. You know, so it's always a good idea to make sure we teach them. Don't try to force them into the information. It's best to spoon feed them, because what's going to eventually happen is if you try to force the information, they're just going to be like, yo, it's information overload. I don't want to know any of that stuff. I just want to go out and hang out with my friends. You know what I'm saying? But it's not until they're out with their friends and their rights get violated or something like that, or, police officer jerks him around because he thinks he don't gotta respect them because they're young, which happens a lot. I'm pretty sure a lot of us in here have done that or have been in that situation where police officer jerks you around because they don't think you know your rights and because you're young. Uh, and in return, we get older and we learn, hey, look, he couldn't do that. He wasn't supposed to do that. He was supposed to do this. So he was supposed to move in this fashion. You know what I'm saying? So it's always good to know your rights preemptively. And if you get in a particular situation, you should be able to get yourself out. So that is a great thing. Um, for those of you who are new to the information, please do not, same thing. Do not try to overdose on the info because it will frustrate you, or you'll get into a point where you get burned out just because there's so much data. You know what I'm saying? There's so much data. There's so many things to read out there, so many different processes, man. Just take your time. And please, like Phyllis Floyd said, make sure that you are aware of the outcome. Do not go and do something without knowing how to protect your ass in court because you will end up in court if you do something. You might even not even do anything wrong. I've seen a guy do a process for discharging debt and ended up in court. They tried to say that the negotiable instrument was fraud or something like that. Or I forgot what they said. He ended up beating the case because it was bullshit, and he had the right to discharge debt. You know what I'm saying? But they'll test you. They're going to test you. It's part of what they're supposed to do. We're supposed to be responsible enough to be able to put this information into action. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to be the ones who are responsible enough to do so. They're supposed to test us to see how we stand up. That's just part of what they're supposed to be doing. So we can have the keys to run this thing the way it should be ran. But we're not going to be able to do that if we're still doing stupid shit and not being able to protect us, getting into something and not knowing how to get out. You know what I'm talking about? Getting into something and having to get a lawyer. That's carte blanche. I done talked to somebody last week that said that they had a bankruptcy lawyer that was supposed to file a bankruptcy. He did something wrong or filed it incorrectly or something like that, and the bankruptcy got rejected. Paid this dude $7,000. And I was like, yo, and all she was trying to do was get the creditors off her back. I said, yo, that's crazy because you could have gave me way less than $7,000 and I would have got the creditors off your back. I had a guy hit me up on I ain't gonna say where it was because this guy kind of got on my damn nerves. Cause he's like, yo, I gotta go to court Monday. It's Friday. I gotta go to court Monday. Can anybody help me with my court case? My lawyer did this, that, and the third, but I think my lawyer's gonna get me in trouble. I think it might have been I think I can't remember what kind of charge he had. It wasn't anything real serious. I think it might have been he hit somebody's car or something like I don't remember. But yeah, so the lawyer had filed a motion or whatever like that, and he was like, "Yo, I don't like that motion." The lawyer did something weird. I'd rather do this. I said, "Well, look, dude, I can help you out, but it's gonna be a consultation fee." I only ask, depending on what it's about. If it's a case or something like that, if I gotta help you with a case, I only ask for $750 for my time. Oh, excuse me, $750, $150 for my time. It's $75 just for an hour consultation donation. That's it. I don't even ask for a lot because that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to help people out much as I can for what my time is worth because I have put a lot of research into this. So people will say, well, if you're here to help people do it for free. Yeah, well, here's the thing. I actually wanted to go out and party and stuff like that too. I wanted to go to the bar and drink, but I had to stay in and read, so I would like to be compensated for my time for doing so. So dude reached out and was like, yeah, well, I don't have any money. I said, well, dude, you gave the lawyer $5,000. What you talking about, man? Like you telling me you don't got 150 and you gave the lawyer $5,000? He's like, oh yeah, it was before I knew what was going on. I said, well, dude, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, my man. You know what I'm saying? People kill me with that. Like I talk to Wolf, people do the same thing to him. Jonah Bay, Jonah Bay charges way more than I charge for to help you with a case. You going, man, what? To help you with a case, but Jonah Bay is an expert. I got some experience as well, but what can I say, man? I say all that basically to say, people who are new to this information, just take your time. Don't get yourself into something you don't know how to get yourself out of. Measure twice or three times and cut once. That's the best way I could put it. Even if you don't know your rights, move with the judicial edition of law in your hand. Walked in the court with the judicial edition in hand. They looked at me. That's my case. Nice. Fire, man, fire. Yeah, that's some fire right there. But yes, indeed, y'all know what time it is, what rhyme it is. I'm A64 National Boy Natural. Thank you guys for tuning in today. We're gonna get back on track with these lives, man. I'll be back in touch with you guys on Sunday, and it's great talking to you guys, man. I'm good to be back. I got my head together. Yes, like my man Imhotep saying, study, study, study. Make sure you get in the group with like-minded people. Please hit my inbox, my email, hit me on Instagram, wherever you follow me at. If you don't have the Telegram link, y'all should be in the Telegram. Get on the Telegram, man, because it's a lot of smart people in those Telegram groups that can give you some good information. So there you go, man. And like Yusuf El said, this isn't a vacuum, yo. The universe don't work like that. You got to give something to get something. So feel free to throw donations or whatever you can to anybody who's helping you guys out, bringing you this information. Subscribe to the Patreon too. The Patreon is right down at the bottom. If the description section, drop on there. I'll be back on there on Tuesdays again. I had to take some time off. If you need the Telegram link, once again, please hit my email or Instagram or wherever you follow me at. My email is right at the bottom down here, and it's also in the description. So there's all the ways you can contact me is right on here. All right. So with that said, remember the path to freedom is through our bravery. All right. Don't be afraid to take them steps. Continue to study, research, and learn. But not just that, you got to apply too. With that said, I'm A6. Peace. Take it easy.